And we head to the bottom half of the first inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Pleased you're joining us here on a beautiful night for baseball from Evansville, Indiana. A lot on the line here in this series. Florence has one job, and it's to play heartbreaker at this point. 6 of the last 9 games for these two teams are against each other. Florence has nothing to lose. The Otters have everything to lose. So these are 6 very important games. We take your attention to the mound to introduce you to Bobby Biermann, the starter this evening for the Florence Yalls. Biermann on the mound, Harper behind the plate. Pitcher Catcher Battery sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Bobby Biermann enters the game with a 2-1 record in his 4 starts. He spent a lot of the year as a relief pitcher, but now, of course, transitioning into a starter. He has an ERA that's just under 5.0. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game, is Miles Gordon. First pitch home to him, taking on for a called strike 1. Do want to say welcome to our friends from Edward Jones. They are tonight's game sponsor. I know they have a lot of people in attendance tonight, so if you happen to have us in your ear, welcome to the ballpark. 0-1 for Miles Gordon. The lefty will swing at this one and foul it off his foot. It ends up going right back up to Biermann, and Ford's going to take a second to reset.
Epitome of baseball right there. One of the worst feelings. I mean, whacking it right off your lead foot. That's a stinger. Quite a few times back in my playing days, that has happened, and it's not the greatest of feelings for Gordon right now. Got to keep battling this 0-2 count.
Had a first pitch temperature in the mid-80s. Good breeze blowing out towards right-ish field. Might hook a little bit foul as well. 0-2 to Gordon. Again, fouled away. Goes bouncing into the Otters dugout. So Gordon will stay alive at 0-2. Gordon and McNamee have done a lot of swapping back and forth, exchanging who's been the Edward Jones leadoff hitter, and then the other one's usually either in the 5-hole or the 6-hole. Let's try it again. The 0-2 to Gordon. Swinging strike 3, foul tipped it into the glove of Harper. And Bobby Biermann has himself his first strikeout of the day on a competitive high outside pitch.
Batting second, in left field, 13, Brian Rosario.
So that'll bring up the switch-hitting left fielder Brian Rosario, with it being a righty pitcher tonight and Bobby Biermann. At least for right now, Rosario will start off the day batting as a lefty. If we happen to see a lefty pitcher in the game, of course, he'll swap over to the other side of the plate. And immediately the shift is on. Huge gap down the third base line, and it's a called strike 1 to Brian Rosario. I think this is the first time all year that we've seen them any team shift this hard for Brian Rosario.
I mean, you ain't kidding. Their shortstop is basically the left side of second base, almost right behind it.
0-1 and trying to bunt towards that open side is Rosario, but he gets a little too much underneath it and falls back in the count 0-2.
It's a smart idea. Go against the shift the best you can.
Rosario, of course, picked up there right at the beginning of July. Tried out with the team while they were at Schaumburg, hopped on the bus, came home, and immediately became a almost permanent starter on this Otters team. I think he had 1 out in his first 2 games combined. Everything else was hits and walks. It was very impressive in those first couple. He's going to start off this game with a called strike 3 strikeout, and Bobby Biermann has back-to-back Ks to kick this one off. This has been the issue for Evansville in these last couple of nights. In fact, during that series here against Joliet, they struck out the most times they had all season, 17 in that first game against Joliet. You have to clean things up if you want to be a playoff team here in these last couple weeks.
That's not a great start here.
Brings up the power-hitting first baseman, Zach Biermann. He loads up on a swing, but fouls back, and obviously Florence is committed to the shift tonight. They keep it in order for Biermann, and rightfully so. We've seen lots of teams do this for Biermann all season long. Biermann in the last couple weeks has hit a lot of balls really hard to right field. Unfortunately, they've not been hard enough to leave the yard. He has some wind helping him tonight, though. 0-1 to Biermann. He cranks one out towards left center field. Working towards the left fielder, but drops for a base hit. And Evansville gets themselves in the hit column after 2 back-to-back strikeouts.
This is what the Otters needed. Again, first 2 batters go down via the strikeout, 1 swinging, 1 looking. That was just giving Broadband a great momentum, especially to the home run in the first inning by his teammate. For Otters here, you got to find a way to settle Broadband down here real quick and get this run back.
I absolutely love it when a defense plays the shift and then a guy hits it the opposite way. Biermann's on first, and the Otters' best RBI man, J.R. Davis, heads into the box. First pitch to the righty, on the way now. Nice pitch, works towards the outside edge for a called strike 1.
Couldn't frame that pitch any better. The off-speed going outside, catching that right corner of the plate. Well placed and a great pitch there.
So the count drops to 0-1 for Davis. He hits one hard to the left side, but foul. And the head man, Andy McCauley, will make a nice play on that one. As usual, it is Andy McCauley manning the third base coaching box. Billy Easley mans the first base coaching box as per usual as well. J.R. Davis settling in once again prior to the 0-2. We've had his family in town the last couple of days. Good to see them and get to talk with them a little bit more. Said that ever since he was 4 or 5, he's been married to this game of baseball. They said they had never seen a 4-year-old watch an entire baseball game, just sit there mesmerized before, but sure enough, JR did it from the time he was 4 all the way really to now. The good take and pitch takes the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes for J.R. Davis. 2 outs, man at first.
I go out and away here again, trying to get Davis to swing at something not the prettiest.
And indeed he does. A moving pitch towards the low outside corner, swung on and missed by Davis. The throw down to make it official, and even though the Otters get a 2-out single, Biermann picks up 3 strikeouts here in this first inning. We've played 1 full. It's Florence 1, Evansville 0 on your home for the Otters, the Otters Digital Network. Top of the second inning, Florence on top in this one thanks to a Brennan Price home run. But really, that's the only difference maker. Evansville did grab themselves a hit, but it didn't end up mattering in the long run of things. So we head back to this Florence lineup. Ethan Stern, Axel Johnson, and Luke Harper, the 3-2 up for the Yalls.
After a great open inning for the Yalls here, be expecting McPhail come out hot and try rattle Adcock some more here to get some more extra runs on the board to give Broadband a great, comfortable lead heading these coming up innings.
So we get set for this top of the second inning. Brett Adcock kicks and delivers the first pitch home for a called strike 1 on Ethan Stern, one of the 3 righties in this lineup. Manning things on the left side of the base paths for the Yalls at third base is Brian White, the manager, and the first base coach is Andrew Reuter, each of them in their second season with the club. Called strike 2, drops down Ethan Stern a couple of pitches now. Do want to start to get you noticing what's going on in the Frontier League. Two big series we're watching this weekend. Washington at Lake Erie, Gateway at Schaumburg. Gateway's already up 2-0 in the first inning at Schaumburg. I'm sorry to say, Evansville fans, I know it's always been a bit of a head-to-head, but Otter fans have to be Gateway Grizzlies fans this weekend. You got to hope the Grizzlies can grab a couple of wins there at Schaumburg, keep Evansville here in the second spot, and potentially own the second spot outright as we work into the final week of this season. 1-2 to Stern. Stays high for ball 2. I also mentioned Washington at Lake Erie. They are scoreless in the bottom of the third right now. Keep an eye on Empire State. Only down 4-3 at Ottawa in the fourth inning. Gray's looking for win number 7 on the year. 2-2 to Stern. Pushed out towards the right side, but foul will get out of play. Tri-City, who is starting to look like the best team in the East, is up 4-2 at New York. That could be an interesting series this weekend, as those are two really high-octane offenses. Again, 4-2 in favor of Tri-City. They're in the bottom of the second as we speak. A 2-2 to Stern. Once again, a fouled off to the right side. Biermann runs that way, but he'll let it go as it's well out of play yet again. Count remains at 2-2, and with it, we will continue to walk you through the Frontier League. New Jersey's on the road north of the border, taking on Trois-Rivières. They're even at 2 runs apiece in the top of the third. And also north of the border, Sussex County down 5-2 at Quebec in the bottom of the second inning. Joliet and Windy City will start here in about 20-30 minutes. Another 2-2 to Stern. That one's good for a swinging strike 3 with authority. That's good for the second German-American Bank strikeout of the day for Brett Adcock.
High and inside. Great place to go there for Adcock. Getting Stern off guard there. Going a lot of consecutive off speeds. Down or off. Change of speed going up and inside. Last 10 games, that'd be Stern's.
So Axel Johnson, the 6-hole hitter for Florence, walks in. He's the DH tonight. Another lefty. He's got the high stirrups on. First pitch home. Misses to the outside for ball 1. That's the thing about this Florence team. Every single guy, whether it's stirrups or just socks, has the socks up all the way to the knees. Every single member of the team. 1-0 to Johnson, again low and outside. And with it, Adcock falls to a 2-0 disadvantage.
Personally, I'm a big fan of the high knee socks tucked into the pants here. Not much fan of the
swinging strike brings Adcock a little closer. 2-1 count. Good crowd on hand here at Bosse Field tonight as we celebrate the final Friday home game for the Otters. Good group out in the right field tent and out there on the Corona patio deck. Ball fouled into the netting will take the count to 2-2 for Adcock.
Can't find any other way to spend your Friday night down at a ballpark. Again, great weather for Friday light baseball. And again, last week of Otters home baseball.
2-2 the count for Axel Johnson. 1 out, base is empty in the second. He swings and misses, and it's back-to-back German-American Bank strikeouts for Brett Adcock.
Congratulations.
Tell you what, that can be dangerous. If Adcock starts to fall into a groove where he starts to put people down with K's next to their name, he's going to start to really get dangerous in this game.
Again, just a rocky first inning. Give him that solo shot. After that, in the inning on a K, started this inning with the K, so that's 3 straight Ks. Then the last 2 innings here for Adcock.
First pitch to the catcher, Luke Harper, stays just a bit outside. Harper's a little bit newer to this club for Florence. He's only played in about 16 games at this point, but he's only started 10 of those 16. But his average is north of 300 at 313 right now, and his on-base percentage is up in the 400, so he has been consistent getting on base when he has had opportunities to play in the games.
Harper, last 10 games for the Alls, batting a .438 average. Started 7
Construction.
of those last 10 games, so a great stat line for him in the past 10 games.
A little bit of a break before his 1-2 pitch. Adcock kicks, delivers. Called strike 3. And the kid, Brett Adcock, strikes out the side. Certainly falling into a rhythm after the solo home run in the first. We've played through 1.5. It's Florence 1, Evansville 0 here on the Otters Digital Network. Bottom half of the second inning here on the Otters Digital Network. Pleased you're joining us here. If it's on our audio-only stream on YouTube or on Flow Sports, glad to have you. Evansville looking to now play from behind after that solo home run in the first. And if you can't hear it in the background, Grove Street Party playing across the system. Nice to hear that again in the ballpark. Dakota Phillips making his second straight start. First pitch is to the outside, but finds the zone for a called strike. Dakota Phillips had himself a 2-run single in last night's game. Good to see him not only jump back into the lineup, but make a big hit in that one. Ball stays high to even the count at 1-1. And our technical director tonight, John L. Smith, lets me know that it is indeed a party still here at Bosse Field. 1-1 the count for Dakota Phillips. Bases empty, no outs as we kick off the second inning. Ball stays high and outside. And with it, count advances to 2-1.
This is where things got to get started here for the Otters. Heading to count 2-1 here, trying to get a first runner on for a good while since the single by Biermann back in the first inning. Trying to get a run. The 2-1 goes outside for ball 3. A 3-1 count now on the designated hitter Phillips.
Now a 3-1 count for Dakota Phillips as Bobby Biermann gets set, delivers a big pitch here. Sent foul to the left side, and though the third baseman Massey runs that way, it will end up in foul territory well out of play.
This is the point where if you're Bray Band, what do you go with here after pitching about, I think, 3 consecutive balls before that foul ball? It's got to be a mindset. What are you going to throw here against this big man Phillips?
3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch to the catcher, Dakota Phillips. Swinging strike 3. And it's the 4th strikeout for Bobby Biermann. He has really had these Otter hitters fooled I would have said that going inside would have helped you out with Phillips, and instead he goes up high. Phillips chases, and it will take us to the 6 hole where the right fielder Elijah McNamee strides in. McNamee changed the walk-up music earlier this week, hoping for a new change in energy and see if that could help kickstart a little thing in his swing and in his offense. Struggled last night in the leadoff spot, went 0 for 5. First pitch to him here. He pushes one to the right side. Chasing back is Tinney. Back towards the warning track, and that's where he brings it in for out number 2. Good contact there for McNamee, but he really didn't have enough behind that swing.
First pitch attack there. I like that by McNamee. That's something the Otters may need to do to get after Biermann here is attack on these first pitch strikes if he's going to throw them to you. You can't fall behind 0-1, 0-2, or even ahead in the count like a 3-ball, 2-strike count here. Try to attack early and often the best you can. Try to get some run production or at least get some ducks on the pond here and bring them around.
So the Otter that pretty much gave Evansville the win last night at the plate now, Justin Felix had a 2-run home run in last night's game, a no-doubter over the left field wall. First pitch he sees here, he fouls back into the rim that goes around the roof of Bosse Field and kicks back out towards the field. It was good to see Felix get back into the good side of hitting. Kind of fished it out of the low outside corner, but he launched it out there towards the Millennium Steel of Texas sign out in left field. 0-1 to Felix. Thinks about going around. It won't matter. It's a called strike 2.
It's all about that mindset. Down count early 0-1. Probably expecting maybe an off speed there, but just got caught looking at the fastball. Decently low kick. Could have got some great contact on it if he was swung at it. But down count now 0-2.
Pitch to Felix. He's way out in front of the off speed, and he sits down with a strikeout. My goodness. 5 of the 6 outs we've seen so far from Evansville have been strikeouts from Bobby Biermann. He is on one tonight. To the 3rd inning we go. Evansville trails by 1. To the top of the 3rd inning we go. Evansville looking to kind of keep things where they're at. Adcock threw one pitch that he regrets in this game, and that's why it's a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Yalls. But we head to the bottom piece of the order for Florence. Lyndon Weaver, Rodney Tinney, and Alberti Chavez due up in the half inning. 3 more games here, including tonight at Bosse Field. Then the Otters head on the road for 6. 3 at Wild Things Park in Washington, Pennsylvania, and then 3 at Thomas More Stadium, home of the Florence Yalls. And just like that, the regular season's over. If the regular season ended today, it would be Evansville hosting Schaumburg in a 1-game playoff on Tuesday, September 6th for the right to play Washington in the West Division Finals. But there's still a long way to go till then. First pitch to Lyndon Weaver is high and inside, called strike 1. Weaver enters our ball game with a 0 batting average. He's played in now 3 games. Has 6 at-bats. but he had a bases loaded walk that ended up counting for his 1 RBI. 0-2 pitch to Weaver. Just misses to the outside. So the defense continues to play pretty much straight up, not having to do any sort of shifting for Weaver. As a 1-2 stays high and evens our count up.
Call him probably an off speed, go inside, inner half corner, try to jam Weaver here, trying to get a quick strikeout. Try to get his 4th straight.
The 2-2, Weaver swinging strike 3, and he will have to wait a bit longer for his first professional hit. It's a German American Bank strikeout for Brett Adcock. Good for his 5th of the day. Little did you know when you tuned into this ball game, you were just in for a strikeout festival. 2 pitchers putting on a show so far. And the one batter who has got a pitch to swing at is the one reason that we have a run in this game.
Again, and the thing about Price is he attacked early in that count. I think it was either first or second pitch he got. He took that thing for a deep ride in right center field.
First pitch to Rodney Tinney, and he has a running, swinging strike. Almost look like in softball when they do that slap hitting.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Don't know what you'd call that in baseball, but man, that thing was tailing away from Tinney. He just went right over it, halfway down first base line. Too bad he swung and missed at it.
So now an 0-1 pitch to Rodney Tinney. Pushed out foul to the left side.
And this is where Adcock thrives. Head and count 0-2. And as you mentioned, he doesn't throw that heat by you. He locates it in that great spot and makes you go down looking either foolish with the pitch in the dirt or just making you sit there, oh, I just looked at an 0-2 fastball. I'm going down looking.
The ball puts weakly to the right side will stay out of play. So the count remains 0-2.
That's both things about these pitchers tonight is they don't throw much heat. It's all about precise location and getting that one pitch to put batters away.
Oh, 2 to Rodney Tinney, and he's going to call time and reset. Adcock has been such a great addition to this Otters staff. His first appearance was there at Ottawa during the Canadian road trip. He pitched beautifully in the game. And here's another beautiful pitch. A called strike 3. Tinney can't believe it. And it's good for a 6th German American Bank strikeout on the day for Brett Adcock.
5 in a row now for Adcock. If you're the Yaws here, something's got to change for Adcock gets even more comfortable and starts putting you away. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Looking for his 2nd straight 1, 2, 3 inning.
Back to the top of the order we go. Alberti Chavez, the shortstop. He popped out to Andy Armstrong at second his first time up. First pitch to him here is a called strike 1. Tell you what, Brett Adcock can get very dangerous when he starts to get consistent like this. 0-1, but foul off to the right side. And just like that, Adcock's in a position to do it again.
Very well. Probably go out and away again. Again, that off speed is what getting these Yaws hitter.
When especially not having anyone on base, you're not afraid of a wild pitch if it gets away from you. Throw it way out there and make him swing. 0-2 stays a bit high, and because of it, it's ball 1. Tomorrow night, we've got post-game fireworks going on here at Bosse Field. We'd love to see you out at the ballpark. Get your tickets now at EvansvilleOtters.com. Ball pushed out towards the right side. Down for a base hit in right center field. Chavez rounds first. He's going towards second. The throw from McNamee is off the line a little bit, and Chavez is going to get himself an extra base. I know for sure they'll give him at least the single. Yes, so it's going to be an error on the pickup out there in right field that will lead to the extra base. I believe it's going to be an E9 out there. So that brings up the first baseman, Brennan Price, again. If you forgot what he did his last time up, well, that's the reason it's 1-0 Y'alls. I was reminded back to the conversation I got to have briefly with Brennan Price's father the last time they were in town, and reminded me of the little piece of information he gave me. Price was drafted as a pitcher in his college time, as he was 6'9" and could throw 95 mile an hour, but he wanted to give hitting a try, and that's how he's become such a successful hitter as well. But for a long time, looked like his career was going to be in pitching. That's how he was drafted, but now here he is, one of the Frontier League's most elite hitters.
Again, look at that frame, 6'9", full-fledged hitter. But if I saw him on the mound, ooh.
Sends one foul off to the right side, and with it, his count drops to 0-2. Tomorrow night, our friends from Centerpoint Energy bring you First Responders Night. We're going to honor a couple of our Vanderburgh County and Evansville area first responders, and also it sounds like proceeds from every ticket sales go to help the families of the bombing or the explosion that happened here in town just about a month ago, the electrical explosion that happened over there. So a great night to come out and not only support Evansville, but also support the Evansville area, the Vanderburgh County area, and also there's post-game fireworks afterwards, and then we conclude the home season on Sunday at 12:35 when Tri-State MS Association is here for Fan Appreciation Day and a Dog Days of Summer. So bring out your four-legged friend and enjoy some baseball. 1-2 to Price. Pushed right back up the middle. Brought up by Khalil. He'll throw to first in time for out number 3. And the 2 outs, single and error, will not come back to haunt the Otters. We head to the bottom half of the third. Evansville trails by 1. Bottom of the third inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Perfect night for baseball in Evansville. Lots going on, of course. Full-fledged schedule of MLB games. There's, I think, some NFL preseason football going on tonight. Of course, there's high school football that's in full steam around the area as well. Tomorrow morning, the college football season starts. Northwestern and Nebraska playing in Ireland. Fun part of the year, isn't it?
It's a fun part indeed. Again, it's where things get interesting. All these sports combine to each other.
Kicking off this bottom half of the third, Andy Armstrong, George Khalil, and Miles Gordon. Armstrong trying to bunt to kick things off, and unfazed is the third baseman Massey, so I would not be surprised we see Armstrong try it again. Oh, 1 count to Andy Armstrong. Pitch comes his way. He's swinging this time. It's right back up the middle for a base hit.
Attacking early and often, and again, it's going to give you some good results here and there. Second pitch of the at-bat, right back where it came from, a base knock. Great way for this Otters to get something going this inning.
So that'll bring up the Australian shortstop, George Khalil. George had a good out in those last couple of innings ago. Had a ball kind of steamed his way at shortstop, and because he is 6'4", it was pretty easy for him to make the grab. A lot of shortstops would have been unable to make a catch like that. Secret weapon down there. using the cowbell to help keep the Otters fans alive. And a pitch rides up on the handle of Khalil for a foul ball on his attempted bunt, trying to get Armstrong over there to second. This is one of the times you can really see the size of Brennan Price. When you've got him standing next to Andy Armstrong, who sizes up at 5'9". Armstrong has a couple extra inches thanks to first base, and he's still so mismatched over there.
Unbelievable is what it is. Can't say much about it. Just how it all works out in the grand game of baseball.
They're going to go check on Armstrong. He's back in time. That's one of the benefits, too. You can throw over to your first baseman and know he's usually going to get to it. But we saw it in the series that these two played the last time. Sometimes when they try to throw over there, if it's too low, he can't get down to it in time. And if you overthrow first base here at this ballpark, a lot of the times it can be 2 extra bases. 0-1 to George Khalil. Well outside ball 1, and he never had intentions of bunting there, so that might have just been a first pitch try. Look at that on the Otters Digital Network. My family in attendance. Good to have them here tonight. Came all the way from Wichita, Kansas.
Good group of people right there. Raised one fantastic son and a great friend of mine, so it's going to be great seeing him this afternoon.
1-1 to Khalil. Well inside now, so it's a 2-1 count. George Khalil on many opportunities this year. It seems as if his height has been a disadvantage because that strike zone is a little bit bigger. As of recently, though, look like he's trying to defend that plate a little bit better. 2-1 zoomed out towards left, and George Khalil has a base hit. Always a good night when your 8 and 9 hitters can pick up base hits in their first time through the order. And Evansville might be putting a little pressure on here in the third inning. First 2 men getting on with singles. And now the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Miles Gordon, strides in.
And now the question is, are you going to take the bat out of the hands of Gordon and lay down the bunt here, try to advance, runner second and third one out, or you're going to trust Gordon to get a base knock here, potentially score a run from second again?
I love the idea of throwing down a bunt here because Brian Rosario is such a consistent bat coming up next. Yes, Gordon's a consistent bat, but why not get the guys over? He does show bunt. Oh, it's perfect. Right back up the middle. Going to be a close play at first. There's nobody there, and he's safe at first. Brennan Price thought the second baseman was covering. The second baseman thought Brennan Price was covering, and because of it, nobody was there. The bases are loaded. We'll see if it happens to be an infield single. It is indeed.
And again, just a blunder right there by the Alls. That's just simple baseball, fellas. You got to talk to each other. Who's covering what on a play like that, especially?
And that one could mean a lot now because this is a base hit now. Shirley scores 2 and potentially keeps no outs on the board, whereas you get that out, things feel a little bit better. That could be a very detrimental out. Because it's not an error, the runs will still be charged up to the man on the bump, Bobby Braybrand. First pitch home to Brian Rosario. Bases loaded, nobody out. Good contact or good swing there, but poor contact as the bat stays a little too low and puts it back into the netting.
Again, first pitch attack here is what is getting to Braybrand here. By these Otters, not let them get too comfortable ahead in these early counts.
0-1 count to Brian Rosario. Hefty swing. He ended up with only one hand on the bat. And now the pressure will be on him a little bit. The bright side for Evansville, the top 2 RBI men come up to the plate next. Zach Biermann and then J.R. Davis. But boy, would it be nice to at least bring a couple in here with Rosario. Wind continues to whip out towards right field. Might help Rosario a little bit here. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. Evansville trails by 1, and Rosario unhappy with having to wait that long, decides to call time.
And that's a great move there by Rosario. Just, you can't let Braybrand here control the pace of the game. If you don't like him to take it too long, take the time. Protect your runners on the bases here. Try to get a good knock here.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Let's call time again and reset. Good to see so many people in attendance tonight, as well as a lot of people I've seen have brand new USI or UE shirts on. A lot of new college students in town figuring out what to do here in Evansville. Glad they're deciding to spend their first Friday night away from home here at the ballpark. 0-2 to Rosario. He really wanted to lean over on that one, but it is ball one high. That's a tough pitch to lay off.
And don't be surprised if Biermann goes back upstairs again and try to get him swinging at that pitch. He was very enticed of swinging at it, but just let off that last second.
Armstrong at third, Khalil at second, Gordon at first. Nobody out, bases loaded. And time is called by Brian Rosario. He is really putting the pressure on Bobby Biermann.
And on deck is the first baseman who had a base knock back in the first inning. First hit until
1-2. Rosario fouls it back. Good defensive swing there. Yeah, this is a very dangerous part of the lineup coming up. Biermann, Davis, Phillips, McNamee. If this run continues and the Alls aren't able to grab a couple of outs, the Otters could make this a big inning.
Because right now the bat rack is probably hot. There's a fight at the bat rack trying to get at bats here, trying to score some runs in a very big game.
Rosario choking up on the bat a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes to him. Bases loaded, nobody out. Pitch comes home. Fouled away again.
Got out of the head of that off speed just a tad. Got enough contact to foul it back. Do it again on the 1-2. Again, a great at bat here between these two.
Bases still loaded. Still nobody out. Still 1-2 count to Brian Rosario. Big time chance for the left fielder. Biermann kicks and delivers. Stays high, ball 2. And things even up. Great patience from Rosario right now.
Are back at square one here, as they say. A 2-2 count now. If you give him something pretty to swing at, you're giving him a couple runs. But if you throw something away in the dirt, potentially, maybe scoring around here on a pass ball, it all depends on this pitch right here.
Outside infielders are playing in to try to go home. Inside ones are trying to keep it from being a base hit. 2-2 to Rosario. Swinging, strike 3 low, and no, they say he got contact on it. Harper did not catch it, so because of it, the at-bat continues.
Got very, very, very lucky there on that one.
That's one that our home plate umpire tonight, Mike O'Leary, must have just heard go off the bat because it certainly didn't look like it had gone off anything.
Did not indeed.
Let's try it again. At a 2-2 offering. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Rosario calls time again.
This is part of the game that I love. Just these mind games between guy on the mound, guy in the batter's box, asking each other's timing. It's just all part of the game.
Secret weapon trying to bring some fire into Bossy Field. Getting the fans involved prior to a 2-2 pitch for Brian Rosario. Bases loaded, no outs. Ball put off foul to the left side will end up towards the parking lot, and we'll have to do it all again. A long at-bat here. So the count stays even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Biermann ready again. Low outside, and it's a full count. And now Biermann threatens to walk in the first run.
Great at bat here, again by both Biermann and Rosario here. Either way, hate to see one of these guys walk away. They're disappointed or come head hung low here, probably give him a couple runs. Either way, hate to see this at bad end.
3-2 counts. Payoff pitch with the bases loaded and nobody out. on the way. Outside ball 4, and a run comes home for 3. And just like that, this game is tied. Armstrong comes home. Khalil goes to third. Gordon goes to second. Brian Rosario has himself an RBI walk.
If I'm not mistaken, he was down in count early. I think 0-1, 0-2 count, and he battled back to get a walk after endless amounts of pitches being fouled off, balls, or just regardless. A great at-bat there to show at practice, like, hey, fellas, this is what we need to do. Patience is virtue.
First pitch to Biermann. Gorgeous pitch in for a called strike 1. This could be a great chance for Biermann to break out of the little bit of slump he's in. He still continues to be Evansville's leading home run hitter, but he hasn't hit one since the 5th of August. For a while, he was among the league leaders and then fell off in the early parts of July. 0-1 to Biermann. Zooms one to the right side, in and out of the glove of Price. One run's going to score. Everyone's going to be safe. I have a feeling that's going to be an infield single. That was hit very hard.
Was a rocket off the bat. A hard play for Price to get to his left side there to make that quick play. Very well could be a base hit.
Regardless of what it is, Evansville now has a 2-1 lead. And the best part of it all, the bases stay loaded. There continues to be no outs, and the rally continues with the Otters' top RBI man heading to the plate, J.R. Davis. It is a single. It is an RBI single, and everyone goes 90 feet forward. Khalil comes home. Gordon goes to third, and Rosario goes to second on the Zach Biermann single. First pitch into Davis, in for a called strike 1.
Davis taking sweet time back in the batter's box here. Gary for the 0-1 from Biermann here.
0-1 for J.R. Davis. Bases loaded, no outs. Hard hit ball to the right side will work its way foul.
Again, this is the inning the Otters needed. Again, all about the momentum for both of these pitchers. Adcock for the Otters. Again, Biermann for the Y'alls. Big innings like this swings how your pitching goes.
We are aware of some issues going on with the flow stream right now. We're working on those as well as we can. 0-2 to Davis. Again, fouled off to the right side. We hope that you at least join us here on the Otters Digital Network audio-only stream while we get those things fixed. Seems like a quick in and outs issue with some of our internet. Hopefully we're back on here in a second. Bases still loaded. Still nobody out. And an 0-2 count to J.R. Davis, the Otters' top RBI man. Pitch comes home. Called strike 3 on the inside edge. A great at-bat there from Robbie Biermann. Really controlled things with that off-speed breaking pitch.
And that's probably just a killer to J.R. Davis. Go down in 3 straight pitches, I believe. Go down looking for the first out of the inning. The bases loaded. Just a very, very momentum crushing for Davis. Let's see what Dakota Phillips can do here.
Dakota Phillips heading back to the plate. Big chance for him. 1 out, bases loaded. A chance to further extend Evansville's lead. First pitch to the plate. Swinging strike 1. Gets away from the catcher for a second. Man, great reflexes there behind the plate by Luke Harper. In fact, he jumped at that ball so quick, the glove fell clean off his hand, and he didn't even care. Get to that ball quick and keep Miles Gordon at third.
If you're Biermann here, you are begging for Phillips swinging at one of your outside pitches. Get on top of it a little early, get a ground ball, get a double play here. Gallus inning with minimal damage. Right now you're down 1. Runner still threatening.
0-1 to Phillips. He's fooled on the off speed, was a bit ahead of it. So he drops back to 0-2 in the count. We take a second to reset prior to the 0-2 pitch to Dakota Phillips. An 0-2 headed home from Bobby Braybrand. Low outside, ball one. Good one to lay off for Phillips. Defense is playing fairly straight up in the outfield, but the infield is still a little bit shifted to the right side. Phillips could push up and down that left field line. Multiple men would score. The 1-2 to Dakota Phillips. Pushed foul to the left side, and he will stay alive at 1-2.
Brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret.
Bases still loaded. 1 out and a 1-2 count to Dakota Phillips. Evansville already has taken the lead. Now they're trying to build with it. The 1-2 to Phillips. Stays low, and our count evens up at 2-2.
Phillips batting a great 600 average with bases loaded here. Great opportunity to extend, I would say increase that average and increase this Otters lead. In this part of the lineup that does the damage for the Otters the best you can.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. When Phillips' injury came there on July the 3rd, he was the hottest Evansville Otter at the time. And he was a big loss for Evansville in this last month and a half. Fouls one off the foot, keeps himself alive. There on that July 3rd game at Gateway as he dove back into second, landed on the hand weird, ended up breaking the hand, and it wasn't just up in the finger, it was down in the hand. One of the finger ligaments was what was broken, and he had to go through surgery and a lot of rehab. I'll be honest with you, 3 weeks ago when he was here with the team, I didn't think he was going to play again this season, as it looked like he was struggling to grip the bat still at that point. But here he is, a night after he got an RBI hit last night, and a chance to do it here on a 2-2. Zooms one out towards right. Tinney goes back to the warning track near the wall. That's where he brings it in for the second out, but 2 runners will advance. It's a sacrifice fly RBI for Dakota Phillips.
And that will do. I mean, you get a run for an out, you'll sacrifice an out for a great RBI sac fly in deep right field. He was very close to taking that ball very long for a great ride.
I tell you what, this ballpark would have erupted if Dakota Phillips would have found a long ball in his 3rd game back. I mean, that would have been a dagger. 4 runs on the board, already adding to what has been a big game. The sacrifice fly still does help. Sure, it goes down as 1 out, but now you're up 3-1. You've got yourself a little buffer. You've made the life for Brett Adcock a whole lot easier. There is a mound visit. We'll take this opportunity to give you a couple of updates around the Frontier League. The first set of good news, Lake Erie up 1-0 at home against Washington. They're in the 6th inning right now. Second set of good news, Gateway up 3-1 at Schaumburg in the 4th inning. Those are the 2 results Evansville wants here. I don't want to get your hopes up. The chance is slim, but Evansville could still win the West Division. It is not Washington's yet. Sure, Washington only needs 2, maybe 3 wins, and they have it, but there's a very good chance Evansville could go on a hot stretch, win all 3 here, get some help from Lake Erie, go on the road to Washington, win all 3 there. This West Division could still be Evansville's, but it would take some help.
Again, that's the miraculous thing about baseball. A lot of these teams that are eliminated are still playing the best they can, and it usually pulls off these games the Otters need.
Well, that Lake Erie-Washington series is such an interesting one because Lake Erie now has the chance to steal 3rd place from Schaumburg, which would surprise everybody if Lake Erie came from the depths of 6th, 7th place in the middle of the year and stole the 3rd playoff spot. It is Elijah McNamee at the plate, by the way. 1-0 counts, pitch home to him, pushes 1 out foul to the right side and evens his count. Big hit Mac will have to wait once more. I know because we already had a couple of comments from them, but I know we've got the Mississippi State fans listening out there. Big hit Matt coming off one of the biggest series of his entire professional career last week against Washington. In his 200th career game, he brought in 2 hits, 3 RBIs, a triple that scored a couple runs. It was a great game for him. And he is trying to keep up where he left off. A swinging strike drops him back 1-2 in the count.
Great game, but that hack, whew, got him fooled on that outside pitch. Maybe not even hit that with an oar. I mean, it was outside and low. And cool. McEnany looking to get something productive here in this inning still.
Biermann at first, Rosario at third with the 1-2 count and 2 outs to Elijah McNamee. He pushes one weakly to the left side. Massey charges in, picks the ball up. The throw to first is low, but in time for out number 3, but not before Evansville scores 3 runs, one on an RBI walk from Rosario, one on an RBI single from Biermann, and then a sacrifice fly RBI from Phillips, which has given Evansville a 2-run lead as we head to the 4th. And here we head to the 4th inning. Before we go any further, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. Craig Massey, Ray Zuberer, and Ethan Stern are the 3 due up here in the half inning. After giving up a 2-out single in that last half inning, Adcock was able to work through those final couple outs. Starts off with a called strike here. He's already picked up 6 strikeouts on the day, by the way.
And those are big 6 strikeouts against a very talented Y'all's batting lineup today's game.
0-1. It's sent out towards right center field. Gordon will work over towards it in the gap, and that's where he brings it in for the first out of the inning. I have to think that the wind is doing something out there because these balls don't seem to be super hard hit, but they're really gliding out to the right side of the outfield pretty well.
And that flag out there is going probably right center field, so I mean it's giving that good push out there. And yeah, don't have to hit it a country mile for it to go far. You get that good enough contact, that ball will surely find its way out of the ballpark. If your name, of course, ain't Brennan Price, who just absolutely waylaid that ball in the first inning, but that has come and gone. But still, don't make hard enough contact, that ball will go.
Yeah, by the way, that home run from Brennan Price came off the bat at 104 mile an hour. It was very well hit. 1-0 to Zuberer. Good for a called strike. Our count evens up at 1-1. Couple more updates for you around the Frontier League. Ottawa holding on to a 5-3 lead against Empire State. They're in the bottom of the 7th. New York has jumped over Tri-City, 6-4, bottom of the 5th. A low outside pitch will take the count to 2-1 for Zuberer, and we'll keep going through things. New Jersey trying to give themselves some hope towards the bottom of the East Division. They have a lot of work to do if they'd like to grab a playoff spot, but they are up 8-3 on the road at Trois-Rivières. At Trois-Rivières Stadium, an interesting one there in the heart of Quebec. 2-1, misses to the outside, 3-1 count now. And to everyone who thought Windy City wasn't going to really give a care, having to face Joliet, they did. Both teams score 3 in the first inning exciting one going on there at Windy City. Beautiful ballpark there, too. 3-1. Zoomed out towards right center. McNamee and Gordon working that way towards the warning track. They run into each other. It looks like, I think one of them caught the ball. Yes, they did, but
yes,
they're rushing out there. Mandy Flagg hustling out there to check on the outfielders. They hug and fist bump, and they seem to be all right. I think it might have just knocked the wind out of both of them. Hard contact out there at the warning track. Miles Gordon did make the catch, but the trainer, Mandy Flagg, still going to finish her run out there and make sure both gentlemen are all right. That is a scary couple of losses to think about it. If you had to potentially replace one or both of them, you have Jeffrey Baez available, but you don't really have an extra infielder. You'd probably have to move Zach Biermann out there and potentially bring in Tanner Craig to first base. If for some reason you needed to replace one or both of them, this could be detrimental to this Otters defensive alignment. Looks like they were stretching out the ankle of McNamee. He's back up and ready to go. Gordon's just walking around kind of hands on knees like he might have just knocked the wind out of himself. Andy McCauley also out there with his outfielders. It looks like everything's going to be all right. Elijah McNamee, a tough one to have to try to say, really tell us how you're feeling. But the good news is both Andy McCauley and Mandy Flagg are running back in, and both outfielders remain in the game. You can take that exhale now. A scary situation there for the Otters, but both seem to be all right.
That was indeed. Again, that was a hard hit ball off the bat. Observer there. Again, warning track power and stuff to the little short, but again, great to see Gordon and McNamee all right out there. At that point, you wonder if they were communicating who's got that one or if they just didn't hear each other and collide at the very end, but still, glad they're all right.
First pitch to Ethan Stern, and there for a called strike. We know the communication between Miles Gordon and McNamee is always been very good. I mean, they're roommates every single road trip. The guys are best friends. They do everything together just about. That seemed like it was one that was perfectly in the gap that each of them probably thought it was in their gap. Hard hit ball out to right. McNamee will go back 5 or 6 steps, bring it in for out number 3. And the right side of the outfield takes care of all 3 outs in this one. We head to the bottom half of the 4th. Evansville taking a 3-1 advantage right now. And as we welcome you back in here for the bottom half of the 4th inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports, do want to give a big shout out to all those that are making this possible tonight, to our camera ops, Ashlyn DeVillas, Hunter Wade, and Austin Hernandez. So thank you to them. And John Smith making his debut as the technical director for the Otters Digital Network broadcast. A huge thanks to the whole ODN crew for making it possible, and a Thank you to Devin Kinney for stepping in tonight for Bill McEwen. Bill should be back tomorrow night, but it was nice to have Devin available on call and have you come in and help us out tonight.
Again, much appreciated the offer to come in, relive some good times we had together this past year over at USI, doing a lot of sports together. Glad to be back.
Yeah, you and I called just about every single USI baseball game together this past season, there for the Screaming Eagles. It's a shame you weren't here to call a game of Bryce Studevils with me. Would have really been reliving things.
Been a great reunion.
Justin Felix set to kick off the half inning for Evansville. First pitch in is high and inside, just barely gets out of the way. Kind of hard to believe that we're already through an hour 10, hour 15 of this one. We're only in the fourth inning. That last half inning for Evansville, that bottom of the third, really spaced itself out and put some pressure on things.
Sent 8 batters to the plate in that inning, and this man didn't get the bat in the third inning, but he leads us off. Again, that bottom lineup, a lot of producing here so far.
Check swing, sent the ball well foul off to the right side. Felix is now even at 1-1. One pitch to the catcher, Justin Felix, with the bases empty, starting off this fourth inning. Another check swing, but this one stays fair for a second. Rolling down that first base line, stays foul. And he'll have to make the run back towards home plate. So Felix now resets back at the plate. 1-2 count, nobody out, nobody on, kicking off this fourth inning.
Yeah, this is where the Otters have a lot of good production. Again, the last 4-5 batters in the lineup here.
Another high inside pitch, and Felix is even at 2-2. So both strikes are off check swing foul balls, and both of his balls have been high and inside on him.
Again, Felix looking for his first hit of the afternoon, struck out back in that second inning, looking for something productive here to get the Otters rolling.
2-2 to Felix. Beautiful pitch. Stayed way high and then dove in towards the zone at the last second for a called strike 3. And that is the 7th strikeout for Bobby Biermann on the day.
All you can do if you're Felix, tip your cap there to Biermann and just say, all right, this pitch, can't beat it, so be it. Come back next at bat and see what happens.
Well, the big third inning for the Otters started off with back-to-back singles for Andy Armstrong and George Khalil. They're the next two due up.
Again, as you mentioned, Armstrong had a single out there to left field. Later on scored one of the 3 runs scored in the third inning.
First pitch home to Andy Armstrong. Taken for ball 1 on the low outside corner. Armstrong, former Oregon State man. Ready for his 1-0 pitch. Again, an outside delivery. Takes the count to 2-0 now. Third baseman Craig Massey playing well in, expecting another bunt from Armstrong. Means he's done his homework. 2-0 sent out towards center. Chasing in is Weaver out there in center field. It drops in front of him. And Andy Armstrong has his second base hit. Both of them hit right back up the middle.
I think this is center fielder Weaver lost that ball in the lights.
Shortstop,
He was attacking it at first, and he slowed down and let it bounce right in front of him.
Also kind of felt like one of those times where he was afraid if he charged the ball too much that it might have caused a diving play of sorts, and he didn't want it to get past him. You never really know. This is a ballpark that plays deep for those center fielders, so it is tough to challenge some of those baseballs. That is a tough ball to play out there, and Weaver opts to just let it drop for the single instead. Now Khalil takes a pitch, and he fouls it off at the last second. Armstrong was breaking towards second for a stolen base attempt, and to be honest with you, I think he might have had it had Khalil not swung.
Looking at a potential hit and run there maybe, or just a delayed swing, trying to get the catcher Harper off his game on the throw. World would never know.
So now we look at an 0-1 for George Khalil. Wouldn't be surprised to see a throw over to first, and indeed we do. And Armstrong's back in time.
And you mentioned that center field plays deep. Dead center, 400. Left center, 375. Right center, 375. Otherwise, 315 down both foul poles. So, again, a deeper ballpark here in the league.
0-1 the count for George Khalil. Another great pitch from Biermann where he has that sliding curveball. It breaks like a curveball, but it slides over in the zone too, and it's found another called strike. Armstrong at first with 1 out, and George Khalil looking at an 0-2 pitch. Might see Armstrong on the run here. 0-2 home. High outside, ball 1.
On deck is Miles Gordon again. He had a base knock back in the 3rd inning. Later on, scoring the 3rd and final run of that big inning.
Yeah, his single was the one that loaded the bases. The 1-2 to Khalil. Foul tipped into the glove of Harper. And it's a strikeout, the 8th of the day for Bobby Biermann.
5 swings, 3 looking Ks so far for again Biermann. So a great outing for him. Just besides that 3rd inning, it's been a great outing.
Miles Gordon, the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, steps in. 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. Good to see him up there ready to swing the bat after the collision he had with Elijah McNamee in the last half inning. There goes Armstrong towards second. There will be no throw as Harper lost it on the exchange. And Armstrong has himself a stolen base. So now this turns into an RBI chance for Miles Gordon. And I'll tell you this much, Elijah McNamee is up with his teammates up there on the railing in the dugout, but I did see Jeffrey Baez take off his warm-up jacket, and he has been stretching along the railing. So there's a very good possibility we could see Jeffrey Baez enter this game out in right field, maybe just as a precaution to make sure Elijah McNamee is going to be all right. 1-0 to Gordon. He skies the ball in the infield. Back behind home, Harper's working towards it, but it's going to end up on the roof or further here at Bosse Field. You will absolutely trade in 5 innings of this game if it means you get Elijah McNamee the rest of the season.
You definitely would, yes. I mean, again, this is where things get very, very interesting and tight. You're on that line of do you make the playoffs, do you not? You got to do the precautionary things.
1-1 to Gordon. Is well inside for ball 2. So Gordon ahead in the count a little bit here. 2-out scoring opportunity for the Otters. Andy Armstrong stands out there at second. 2-1 count here in game 1 between the Otters and the Yalls. The first of 6 in the next week. 2-1 to the center fielder, Miles Gordon. Hit hard to the right side, foul. Will end up in the Otters bullpen, and they all come jumping up at that ball.
Working the 2-2 now on Gordon. Got to keep it simple. I know you want to score that run, but you can't score the run unless you don't make contact. So you got to keep it simple, stay within yourself, and make that easy, solid contact, and score that run from second.
Count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch home. Sent out towards center. Dropping back is the shortstop Chavez in shallow center. Everybody's there, and it's Chavez who brings it in as he, the second baseman, and center fielder all collide. That one not as violent a collision, and with it, we make our way to the top of the 5th inning. Evansville holding on to a 2-run lead here from Bosse Field. Top of the 5th inning. Evansville had a shot to potentially add some runs there in that back half of the 4th, unable to do so, and because of it, we make our way to the 5th. Evansville still up by 2. You know, you're in a position in this game now where this is the make it or break it point of the game for some of these pitchers. So far, life hasn't been too bad for Brett Adcock. 1 misplaced pitch is the difference between a scoreless outing and the 1-run outing. Now he's got a couple runs in his back pocket. I guess we'll see right now what Adcock can do in these middle couple of innings.
I mean, ever since that home run, he only gave up 1 hit, and that came back in the top of the 3rd, where Chavez had a single but advanced on an error on the grab in center field. Ever since then, probably 6 Ks, I believe, in that time span. A lot of flyouts. It's what you want from your pitcher. Either a lot of strikeouts or a lot of pitch to contact to get batters out, and that's exactly what's going on.
Beautiful pitch home from Adcock for a called strike 1. Axel Johnson, Luke Harper, and Lyndon Weaver, the 3 due up in the half inning. They all 3 were guilty of the strikeout their first time up. 0-1 to Johnson. This one skied out towards left center field. Rosario will play over towards it, and he's underneath it for out number 1. Certainly one of the benefits for Evansville, whether it's Rosario, Gordon, McNamee, Baez, even Biermann out there in left field. The outfielders for Evansville are so quick. They get to the ball in such amount of time that they have time to get themselves under it, make sure they're not going to collide. That was a rare occurrence, the first time we've seen it all year, and we see it again there. Rosario able to track that ball down really early, grab an out. Beautiful pitch to start off the count to Luke Harper. Curveball fell in for a called strike 1.
You already mentioned, but Harper went down looking back in the 2nd inning, looking for his first hit as well.
Close pitch on the outside. Won't go for a called strike. Instead, we even up at a ball and a strike. 1-1. Pushed off out of the left side. Couple more updates for you. Lake Erie's doubled their advantage in the bottom of the 7th. Now a 2-0 lead for the Crushers over the Washington Wild Things. And in the bottom of the 4th, Gateway up 4-1 at Schaumburg. Gateway trying to help out the Otters. 1-2 to Luke Harper. Weekly fouled, but it bounced before it got into the glove of Felix, so we'll have to do it all again. For Gateway, it's been the little things that have worked for them. All 3 runs they've scored have been on RBI singles. 1-2, hit sharply towards Armstrong at second. He'll charge in, played into the glove, just barely get it over to first in time for out number 2. Just about bobbled that one into an error. And somehow,
Center fielder,
that's just the second ground out we've seen played by the Otters. Everything else has either been a strikeout, the one home run, or the three or four balls that have been up in the air.
Again, that's what you like to see from your starting pitcher. And that's how you go 5, 6, 7, if good enough. In pitch count is low. Maybe 8, 9, very rarely if it's a low complete game. But anyway, that's how you get it. These strikeouts, those flyouts are just so soft. Plays like that get you a long, good start.
After being fooled on the first pitch, a foul off from Lyndon Weaver has him back in the count 0-2. Brett Adcock is in search of strikeout number 7. The 0-2 pitch home just missed to the high outside corner. And here we have our third sprinkler delay of the season here at historic Bosse Field. Sometimes when you've got a 107-year-old ballpark, there's nothing you can do about something like that. Maybe it's a water break.
Very well could be. Again, it's a nice, hot, humid evening into late night skies here at Evansville.
I know there's a switch up there somewhere.
And now the sprinklers start to work their way towards home plate.
Do we need the tarp?
And with it, the entire home plate area goes evading home plate area. Lyndon Weaver with a big smile on his face. Lyndon Weaver's looking for his first professional base hit, and now he's got a sprinkler delay right in the middle of his at-bat.
Only do so much. Again, very old ballpark. Gotta live with some things. There's some things you gotta live with.
Both Elijah McNamee and Miles Gordon taking the opportunity to drop to a knee and take a breather. While both of them are all right and, in the game, it's still pretty obvious that both of them are still feeling that collision a little bit. And the sprinklers are down, and we're ready to continue playing baseball here from Bosse Field. A couple of sprinkler heads still up that I'm sure they're going to go stomp down real quick. And indeed they do. So the count's 1-2 to Lyndon Weaver with 2 outs and the base is empty. Here in the 5th inning, this is a strange one. How do you get the mind back engaged into the at-bat after you've had to take 30 seconds to watch the sprinklers stay on for a while? I mean, maybe the mind never deactivated, but I'm sure that it messed with your concentration a little bit. 1-2 misses high and outside, and he'll get a little extra time to reset.
21 years of life. That's probably the first thing I saw. Playing sports my whole lifetime. That's probably the first thing I saw of sprinklers delaying a baseball game. You hear about it all the time.
2-2 swung on and missed, and it's another German American Bank strikeout. Make it 7 on the day for Brett Adcock. And with it, we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Evansville hanging on to a lead here from historic Bosse Field. Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Old National Bank, your bank for Evansville, your bank for life.
13, Brian Rosario.
Quick cleaning of the home plate after it got a nice little bath there in our last half inning. And we are just about ready to kick off this bottom half of the fifth inning. We are at the Center Point Energy center point in the game. Halfway through, this is where you want to be, up 3-1. You gave your pitcher a little help. He's given you help with quite a few strikeouts. Good place to be right now.
A great place to be in. Of course, you always want to tack on a few more insurance runs with the air quotes there, but still got two-run lead right now. But no lead is safe, especially in this league. You never know what's going to happen.
First offering to Brian Rosario on the way. Catches the outside edge for a called strike to kick off this half inning. And Evansville does the fifth inning best. This is where they score their runs. 92 of their 445 have come in the fifth inning. If you've got the calculator up at home, that's good for 21% of their runs this season. It's crazy to see how many runs they put on in these last 1 or 2 innings of a starting pitcher's day. Rosario starts off with a couple of called strikes. He didn't seem to agree with the second one there.
0 for 1 today is Rosario. Struck out back into first, but yet a walk back into third. And was stranded on third back in that big 3-run third inning.
1 ball, 1 strike for the left fielder, Brian Rosario. Pitch on the way. Swinging strike. That will sit him down with a strikeout. It's the ninth of the day for Bobby Biermann. Biermann has certainly had these Otter hitters guessing. Doesn't really seem like anything can phase him.
Again, like I said, in this game, it all comes down to the mindset of what these pitchers bring to the mound. Saw it same way with Adcock back in that first inning, giving that solo shot. Ever since then, he calmed down.
Biermann skies one to the right side. Underneath it is Brennan Price at first. And he brings it in foul territory for out number 2. And Biermann frustrated with himself after that one.
The same thing goes for Biermann. After that shaky third inning, settled in that fourth, settling now, quick 2 outs, looking to get back in the dugout, get your bats going, get some support here.
So that now brings up the third baseman, J.R. Davis. 2 outs, bases empty here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Otters looking to grab an insurance run or two just to help out Brett Adcock and the rest of the pitching staff. First pitch home, good for a called strike 1. Another check-in on our friends, if you'd like to call them that, north of us, up in Avon, Ohio. Lake Erie leading 2-0 still in the top of the 8th against Washington. 0-1 for Davis, swings at it as it bounces before it even gets to the plate. Don't know what Davis saw out of the hand, but Biermann certainly had him fooled on the pitch.
Well, at that point, you probably think that Davis was convinced he's going to hit this pitch no matter what, swing at whatever it was, and it was a very ugly swing.
The bright side is it wasn't strike 3, a chance to bounce back here. 0-2 pitch now to the third baseman, Davis. It's that big curveball who has retired another hitter, make it 10 strikeouts for Bobby Biermann. My goodness, he has been good tonight. We're on to the 6th inning. Evansville leads by 2. And we're on to the 6th inning in this one. A couple of quick innings back and forth. Neither side really gaining any traction offensively. But I think really you need to put the credit where it's due. Brett Adcock and Bobby Biermann have been very good in this one. Each guy has had one half inning that ended up staining the run column. Other than that, both have been phenomenal in this. They have a combined 17 strikeouts through 5 innings. They've been fun to watch.
Very fun to watch. And again, a guy like me, I like these low-scoring games, pitching duels, old school, laying down bunts, advancing people, all around. Great ball game by both teams. And you really do hate to see one team lose, especially in a good pitching duel like this. That one losing pitcher thinks of this one half inning happened.
First pitch to Rodney Tinney. He puts one out towards right field. Dropping back is Armstrong, and he's the one to bring it in shallow right field for out number 1. You know, a lot of credit deserves to go on Brett Adcock. He's got a lot of experience in professional baseball. I mean, just in the minor leagues and his 4 seasons spread throughout single A, double A, throughout the Houston organization. In those 4 minor league seasons, he had a 4.40 ERA, put together an impressive resume, and, you know, these are the games that it's nice to have a guy with that much experience. You knew him being a 4th-round pick out of the University of Michigan. You knew what you were getting when he was able to join this squad, and he's been a terrific addition to Max Peterson and Andy McCauley's pitching staff.
Very, very great pickup.
First pitch is a called strike. Chavez had left the batter's box before the ball even really got home.
A great addition to the pitching staff. Again, just having that older, wiser figure in the bullpen of, like, not even the bullpen, just pitching staff in general.
Hefty swing. Drops the count to 0-2 now. Big gap right up the middle as George Khalil's playing basically right in the gap between 2nd and 3rd. 0-2 to Chavez. Zoom to the left side, just foul. Trying to put one down the hot corner. Again, don't forget, 2 more games in the regular season here at historic Bosse Field. Tomorrow night, 6:35 first pitch. As Florence and Evansville do battle once again. We'll have Jeremy Oval on the mounds for the Yalls. Austin Gossman, former Screaming Eagle, goes for the Otters. Ball put out towards the right side, foul. Then the series and the home schedule conclude on Sunday. Yonakir Villalobos goes on the mound for this Florence Yalls team. And the righty Justin Watland gets another start in the homestand here for the Otters before this Evansville team hops on the bus Monday and makes the trip to Washington to try to finish off this regular season. Hard hit ball out to left center field is going to drop before Rosario can get there, and it's good for a 1-out single for Chavez.
First hit for the Yalls since back in that 3rd inning by that same guy, Chavez. He has a nice little day going on, 2 for 3. The only 3 hits for this Yalls team. Other one, this guy right here again, that deep solo bomb back in the 1st inning.
So Brennan Price makes his way back to the dish. 1 out, 1 on. Pitch comes home. Swinging strike 1. My goodness, he wanted to hit that one all the way back to Florence.
That was a heck of a swing there. Scott Price swinging out of his boots there for that one.
He's just got the body build of someone who can really put some power into that bat. 0-1, taken low for ball 1, and the count evens up. He, a lot like Jeffrey Baez, are built so big that they make that bat look like a twig.
Very well. You were right about that one.
1-1 offering to the first baseman, Brennan Price. And it stays low and outside for ball 2.
That's where Adcock is going to make his living, is that lower half of the plate.
Make him really stretch.
Maybe go outside, pressing your luck again, but if you go inside, getting them to do that, the check swing.
They said, yes, he did go around. The home plate umpire, Mike O'Leary, went ahead and made the call. Didn't even check with either other umpire. He said yes, he did, and the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If you're Adcock, that's where you go again. Go inside, keep it low.
Make it so that he's going to make contact. He's choked up on it.
1 for 2, grounded out back in the third, looking for a second hit of the day.
2-2 home, stays low and outside. So it's a full count offering. A walk is better than a 2-run home run, so don't be afraid to not throw this one in the zone.
So, yeah, walk right now could be your best friend, too. You know, a strikeout is probably more like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, but still, a walk would help you.
Ball stays outside for ball 4. There are runners at first and second now, and now sets up Evansville to potentially use that all-star tandem of second and shorts of Armstrong and Khalil to turn one of their double plays to end this inning. It'll come against Craig Massey, the third baseman and the 3-hole hitter. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout so far in this one.
So, yeah, Doctor's going to order up here a ground ball double play, get out of this inning.
Just when you thought that those two couldn't make a more impressive double play, they did it a couple of times last night, but their one that came in the 8th inning was absolutely phenomenal. First pitch home. Good for a called strike 1 against Craig Massey.
So your corner infielders playing back a little bit. Your midfielders, what you like to call them, playing out there in the middle, expecting a double play here.
Yeah, anything on the ground in that inside, it's going to be hard for George Khalil and Andy Armstrong not to turn to. One of the most fluid sets of middle infielders in this entire league. 0-1, hit on the ground towards Armstrong, into the glove, to second for 1. The relay to first will not be in time, as it was a good run out of the box for Massey, and the initial hit went into the ground hard enough. It got a good jump and made things a little slow. So it's officially 4-6 on the fielder's choice that allows Massey to reach. Price is taken on his way to second. Chavez reaches third.
Left fielder 5, Ray Zuberer.
Price is out at second, good sir. Price is out at second. And, yeah. Price is out at second. Runner goes to third is Chavez, leaving Massey over at first.
So it brings up Ray Zuberer, the left fielder. 2 out, 2 on. One of the best chances for Florence all day. First offering just misses on the outside edge.
We need Jeff DeMoss to head to first base game.
Adcock asking exactly where that missed. He disagrees. One of the offering to Zuberer. It's fouled off the foot, and the count evens up. Another check-in on our friends around the league. Washington has found the run column. They used a RBI single from Wagner Lagrange to put themselves on the board. They still have a chance to add another run here in the top of the 8th, but they are still down 2-1. They're in Avon, Ohio. Gateway still ahead 4-2 at Schaumburg. They're in the bottom of the 5th. A lot of work to go still there. 1-1 to Zuberer. That is good for a called strike. A couple other scores around the league that might interest you. Joliet now up 4-3 at Windy City. Sussex County still trailing on the road at Quebec 8-5. They're in the bottom of the 6th right now. And they're still sitting pretty in the top of the 7th in New York. The Boulders up 6-4 on Tri-City. 1-2 zoomed out into right field, down for a base hit. One run's going to score for sure on the RBI single from Ray Zuberer. And now the tall bouncing ball towards Armstrong proves detrimental for the Otters. Could have been a double play that ended things and got you out of it. Now it was good enough to give the Yalls one more run.
Thing about that play, it was right to Armstrong, but he just double pumped that throw right before flipping it off to Khalil over there. Getting detrimental for the Otters.
So now walking in towards his manager is Craig Massey out there at second. Looks like they're going to throw in a pinch runner. I wonder if this has to do with Massey when he was breaking out of the batter's box on that fielder's choice. He started to limp a little bit on his way out there. So the pinch runner is going to be Bryant Flette, the former Southern Illinois Miner, in there now. He will pinch run at second for Craig Massey. First pitch to Stern, a half swing, won't matter, it's a called strike. And with that, the Otters have got a man up and warming. It's Jacob Bowles, the former Screaming Eagle of Southern Indiana, starting to toss out there in the right field pin.
And if you're Adcock here, get out of this inning, 1 run ain't going to kill you too bad here.
0-1 to Stern off the handle of the bat, and it's into the seating area over there on the right side. And now Adcock potentially 1 pitch away from ending this half inning.
Heading on to the 2-hour mark of this game, we saw a lot going on, getting a great game between y'alls and the Otters here. Looking to get out of this inning is Adcock.
The 0-2 to Stern. Swinging strike 3. German American Bank strikeout number 8 on the day for Brett Adcock. Take us to the bottom half of the 6th. Otters still lead by 1. Coming up to the plate, Dakota Phillips, Elijah McNamee, and Justin Felix. Don't go anywhere. Dakota Phillips heading to the plate. Here to kick off the 6th inning. He's followed by Elijah McNamee and Justin Felix. Phillips' RBI now means a little bit more. His RBI fielder or fly sacrifice fly is now, if this were to hang on, the game-winning run. It stands as the go-ahead run for right now.
Phillips 0 for 1 on the day, getting a strikeout back in the 2nd and a sac fly back in the 3rd, looking to get another productive hit here.
Pitch way outside is ball 1. Announced there in the half-inning break. Continuing in the game in replace of Craig Massey, Bryant Flette at 3rd. Second straight night here at Bosse Field with 2,000 plus here at Bosse. 1-0 stays high for ball 2 for Dakota Phillips. Again, Bryant Flette stays in the game at third base for Craig Massey after filling in as a pinch runner.
Again, just another great night of baseball. Again, thank you to the fans tuning in both on Flow and on our audio and being here. Thank you.
A taken pitch for a called strike. Take the count to 2-1 for Dakota Phillips. Also always a great night when we see our team owner Bill Bussing walking people around the stadium, showing off beautiful Bossy Field. I know our president John Stanley's up here in the press box as well. Good to have them at the ballpark as well. A 2-1 to Phillips. Swinging strike 2 will even the count up for him. That high outside pitch is his kryptonite right now.
A little late there by Phillips. Don't be surprised if we go back up there and see that pitch up high and outside. Try and catch Phillips off guard.
Two count for Dakota Phillips. Trying to help Evansville extend their lead. The 2-2 home. Way high and outside, ball 3.
Good chance here for Phillips to get something going. Bottom of the 6th inning, something that the Otters need to get going.
The 3-2 payoff pitch to Dakota Phillips. Hit weakly to the right side, foul. He will stay alive. Well, we saw Jacob Bowles sit down after Brett Adcock got himself out of that last half inning, so nobody warming for Evansville. But there's been a couple arms for the Yalls that have just been standing at the actual bullpen area. No one's thrown yet, but they have been standing there waiting potentially for a time to hop in. By the way, Phillips has a huge hold of the left side now. 3-2 pitch home. And again, he fouls it off to the right side. The third baseman, Flette, basically playing where a shortstop usually plays.
You got the big gap, third base side, and probably a little bit of a big gap right between right side, second base, right between that shortstop and second baseman. Big spot for Phillips right here.
3-2 home, launched out towards right. Tinney going back to the wall. Gone! Dakota Phillips, right after coming back into the lineup, has a big fly to right field.
And
Flash those lights, play that music. Dakota Phillips has made his re-entry to Bossy Field with authority in these last couple of nights. 10 home runs for Phillips on the year now. Back like he never left.
And again, a big welcome back to Phillips and a welcome back to the Otters fans who've been missing out on him. Glad to have him back, and that ball was deep right field off the bat, and that wind, of course, still pressing out right center field. Didn't hit a country mile, but I think soared right field.
It was one of those you pretty much knew off the bat, and Tinney didn't even really have to work too far back out there in right field. First pitch to McNamee. He fouls one back into the glove of Harper.
Two big RBIs right there for Phillips on the night.
0-1 the count for Elijah McNamee after the foul off there. Elijah McNamee and Dakota Phillips have gone back-to-back with home runs once this year. That came back on May 17th against Lake Erie. Be kind of nice to see that here.
Yeah, McNamee's due for a hit here. Be nice to see it leave the yard.
0-1 works high and inside, and with it, McNamee's count is evened up.
Five, 6, 7 really didn't have a hit till right then with Phillips, but looking for this second half of the lineup to get something going.
1-1 works way inside and actually hits McNamee. Tough night to be big hit Mac. A collision with his best friend, the center fielder Gordon, and now hit by a pitch. He will deserve the night off tonight and long break tomorrow. He jogs down towards first. He's all good to go.
Great catcher by Justin Felix.
We do see an arm warming up for Florence down in the right field pin, by the way, now. As there is a quick meeting up at the mound between Brabrand and Harper. Hard to tell the number on the lefty out there warming up right now. Does look like it could be Kent Kleiman. Here we have a great view from our ODN camera crew. It's actually Carl Craigie, the second-year Y'all out of Austin, Texas. Justin Felix at the plate now. He went yard in last night's game. First pitch to him. Taken inside for ball 1.
Looking to avoid that hat trick of strikeouts here, due for his first hit. Gone down both ways with strikeouts. Looking and swinging. Due for one here is Justin Felix.
1 ball, no strikes to Felix. High inside, ball 2. And, you know, even if you can't score another run, which you obviously really want to in this happening, even if you can't, you've done your job. They got a run closer to you, and right away you bounced back and got that extra run of insurance right back at them. That's a good feeling. Of course, it would be nice to grab another one.
And you very well could. You got the bottom half of the lineup. That is 3 hits so far of the 7 for the Otters. So your 7, 8, your 8 and 9 hitters have 3 to 7 hits. So, I mean, bottom half of the lineup is producing well tonight. Felix has a 3-0 count. Would be surprised here if they give him the green light at something interesting or just let him go.
.3-0 to Felix. He takes the pitch for a called strike. They checked down at first, but back in just an amount of time was Elijah McNamee. Three balls, 1 strike to the catcher, Justin Felix. Takes it for a called strike 2, and suddenly the count is full.
Got a big at bat here for Felix. You like to get another run on that scoreboard. You already got 1 this inning. Again, you got your hitters due up here.
Three balls, 2 strikes to the catcher, Justin Felix. Zooms the ball out towards shallow left. Dropping back is Chavez. Actually, pretty much near where he usually plays shorts, and he just barely brings it in for out number 1. McNamee hangs still there at first base. So that'll bring up the second baseman, Andy Armstrong. Armstrong is 2 for 2 on the day with a couple of singles. Getting a hard hit one right back up the middle.
Scored on his first single back in the 3rd.
And there is going to be a discussion at the mound. Could we see a pitching change here as well? At least not right now. Entire infield comes in to have a discussion with Bobby Brabrand, pitching coach Eric Minshaw, and the rest of this Florence staff. Of course, they do have Carl Craigie still warming up out there in left in case he's needed.
In section 2 of Select as well. Glad to have you here at the ballpark in the Corona Extra patio deck.
big spot here for Armstrong, the second baseman, getting 2 for 2 on the day. Stolen base to his name. Made a couple solid defensive plays so far, so a well-rounded game.
Armstrong wanted to bunt there, pulled away in time. They check down at first, say no, he didn't, so it is ball one.
Interesting to see. Willing to lay down a bunt here with Armstrong to try and advance McEnany.
Yeah, if you can get McNamee over there to second, might help you out with a potential insurance run. 1-0 to Armstrong. He's not bunting now. Takes pitch outside for ball two. George Khalil stands in the on-deck circle. Could be due up next. McNamee with a good lead over there at first. A 2-0 pitch to Andy Armstrong. Heads home now. It's launched out towards left center. Zuber chasing back towards the warning track. That's where he brings it in for out number 2. McNamee is not able to advance. He tried, but he's stuck at first. Hard hit ball there for Andy Armstrong, but unfortunately for him, was just in the wrong direction.
And nothing to hang your head about that. At bat right there, again, he is 2 for 2. And that was hard contact left field. Again, warning track area, so again, just a lot of good contact. Can't complain too much for the Otters tonight.
Brings up George Khalil, the Australian shortstop. First pitch to him. Tries to bunt it, and it fouls back in. At least I thought it fouled back in. Yeah, indeed it did. 0-1 the count for George Khalil. Khalil waiting on the 0-1 pitch. They're going to go check over there on McNamee. He's back in time.
That was a low throw in the dirt there. Good pick by Price to keep the runner over there at first.
Oh, 1. Khalil pushes it out towards right center. Tinney going back towards it. And it's the center fielder Weaver who brings it in for out number 3. Good contact from both Armstrong and Khalil, but neither is able to drive it quite hard enough. We make our way into the 7th inning now. A solo home run from Dakota Phillips has given the Otters a 2-run lead once again. We're into the 7th inning in the back third of this ball game. Evansville up 2 runs once again after Dakota Phillips returns to the lineup with authority once again. A solo home run out towards right. Certainly got Bossy Field excited.
On the mound still for the Otters is Adcock. Solid 6 innings of play so far. Despite that first inning and despite this last half inning, but still, great outing. 6 strong innings of play.
Hefty swinging strike brings Axel Johnson back to an 0-2 count. But it is good to see that Max Peterson, as the inning starts, gets Jacob Bowles warming up once again out in the right field pen, just in case things go south. He has a man ready just in case. 0-2 to Johnson, sent foul to the left side. That being said, still warming up for the Yalls is Carl Craigie, 6'1 lefty, down there in the left field pen. And as I say that, he fist bumps his teammates. Seems as if he's ready to come in at any point now. 0-2 to Johnson, swinging strike 3. And that is good for the night. German-American bank strikeout for Brett Adcock.
Starts the inning the way he ended it with the strikeout swinging. Again, great night for Adcock on the mound.
Catcher 14.
So bring it to catcher Luke Harper now. 0 for 2 on the day. Strikeout and a ground out. The first pitch he sees upstairs for ball 1.
Luke Harper, the catcher, 0 for 2, ground out and a strikeout. And, you know, it's been a tough couple of at-bats for him so far. Hasn't seen the ball, it seems, until real late. That hasn't helped him.
And on the flip side, y'all's 7, 8, 9 hitters been struggling recently these past couple innings. Can't find barrel on the bat here compared to the Otters.
1-1 stays outside for ball 2.
Which is why it's games like this, if it wasn't for the bottom hitters of the Otters, this game could be flipped around. Hold number 360, who knows?
2-1, swung on and missed to even our count up. Time to give you another update around the league. We have a couple final scores. 6-3, Ottawa defeats Empire State. And the one I'm sure many of you wanted to hear, Lake Erie defeats Washington 2-1. So Washington's done their part to help Evansville. Now the Otters just need to close this game out. With a win, Evansville would drop the lead back to just 6.5 games. It's not impossible. Evansville still has a chance to come surging back here in the West Division. Out there in Schaumburg, Gateway still up 5-2. Grizzlies have just done things little all game. 1 run here, 1 run there. And on the full count, Luke Harper is going to earn himself a walk. First time he's made on base today. In fact, he is the first Florence Yall in the back half of the lineup to find base safely.
Be interesting to see what they do here. If they send him, try to get some run going, but there's a chance. Lose him out there if he caught stealing or something. It depends.
Certainly hard to steal on Brett Adcock. With him being a lefty, he gets to stare you down over there and, of course, makes life a little harder. It's Lyndon Weaver at the plate. The 1-0 pitch to him. Inside for ball 2. Good stop by Felix. Does look as if Jacob Bowles is ready to enter this game whenever he's needed now. 2-0 offering to Lyndon Weaver. Skied out towards shallow right. Armstrong working over there towards the foul line, and he'll be the one to bring it in for the second out of the inning.
Oh, for 3 days there for Weaver.
Weaver's still looking for his first professional hit. And depending on how these last few innings go, he might get one more opportunity, maybe not. Might have to wait for tomorrow night. Rodney Tinney to the plate now. The 9-hole hitter's 0 for 2, but he's made solid contact on a few balls. They've either just been in the wrong direction, foul, or caught like his last one. First pitch home. Stays low, ball 1. Another good stop from Justin Felix behind the plate.
Heading on to pitch 94 now there for Adcock. So again, 6 2/3 innings of work for him. 94 pitches, just about where you want to be for a starting pitcher. Trust your relievers and closers to close out this game the way they have been all year.
Tinney fouls one off to the left side, and with it, his count evens at 1-1. Adcock has passed the 100-pitch limit. Or I don't want to say limit, has passed the 100-pitch level. Doesn't really have a limit, but he hasn't gone super deep in his pitch count. Typically sitting there in the shallow 1-teens. Highest we've seen all year from him was 117 against Joliet earlier this year. Another foul off by Tinney. Takes the count to 1-2. I'm very confident if he can grab this third out, he would be done at 7 innings. The Otters would then turn to the bullpen for 8 and 9. Maybe we see Bowles and Sawyer. Maybe we see Gallardo and Sawyer. Maybe we see Polancic and Sawyer. If it stays a 2-run advantage, I can promise you we'll see Sawyer in the ninth. As the league's best closer is 21 for 21 in save opportunities.
What you expect from the best closer around. Closing out things like that. It's what wins you championships and/or ball games.
Hard to beat a 0.00 ERA, too. Ball put out to center by Tinney. Gordon works in, brings it in for out number 3, and Adcock turns and applauds him and likely walks off the field for the last time tonight. If so, a wonderful start from Brett Adcock. Is able to limit the Alls to just 2 runs. Time to stretch from Evansville. Bottom of the 7th comes at you next. Bottom of the 7th inning here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Having a good time here at historic Bosse Field. Good crowd on hand as well. Announced attendance at 2184 tonight. You can make that a little bit more tomorrow night. Come out and join us for a enjoyable Saturday night here from Bosse Field. Final Saturday night game at the ballpark this season. Our friends from Centerpoint Energy are here for First Responders Night. Post-game fireworks, too, so it should be a fun night here. We'd love to see you out at the ballpark. If you'd like to join us, you can get your ticket at EvansvilleOtters.com or stop by the box office anytime during the day tomorrow. We'd be happy to help you pick out the perfect seat for the game. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, we've got a new pitcher on the mound for Florence. It'll be number 28, Carl Craigie, the lefty out of Austin, Texas, will get the nod, with the hopes of keeping this game at a 2-run advantage for the Otters. It's the 40th appearance for Craigie on the year, an ERA just over 5, 56 strikeouts in 43 innings. He has been very, very good. It's called a bullpen presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Craigie on the mound, Harper behind the plate, the pitcher-catcher battery, sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Let them know that Zane from the Otters sent you. Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game. Miles Gordon leads off, and he pops up a bunt behind home. It'll land on the roof of Bosse Field here.
So the stat line there for Bobby Braybrad, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 runs. All 4 runs were earned and 10 strikeouts on the night. So again, a great outing despite that 3-run third inning, a run here in the 6th. Otherwise, a great night for the starting pitcher for the Alls.
Yeah, I mean, you take one of those base hits away in the third, and this is probably an even game, maybe a 3-2 game. I mean, he pitched fantastic tonight. A 1-1 home. That's good for a called strike. One ball, 2 strikes for the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Miles Gordon. He zooms one down the right field line, but foul. Making a nice play in the bullpen is Augie Gallardo, who's currently warming up for the Otters. So obviously that is the strategy for Evansville. Go with Augie in the 8th, Logan in the 9th. Bottom of the 7th here. Miles Gordon, Brian Rosario, and Zach Biermann due up in the inning. A 1-2 pitch comes home. And it's a swinging strike 3. A leadoff strikeout for Carl Craigie.
That is Gordon's 2nd strikeout of the night, so a 1-for-4 night there for Gordon. Potentially his last at bat. Never know, it depends how it goes.
And because of the pitching change, now a lefty on the mound in the form of Craigie, Brian Rosario will switch over and bat right-handed in this at-bat. Had batted lefty the rest of the day. 0 for 2. Couple of strikeouts and an RBI walk to his name. First pitch home to Rosario. Well inside. Almost hit him. And in fact, for Rosario, he picked up a big walk in last night's game, too, to load the bases and helped the Otters in their big 4-run inning. That helped finish out the game against the Joliet Slammers. A 1-0 to Rosario, again inside, make it ball 2. Rosario taking a break before the 2-0 pitch, finally steps in. Bases are empty with 1 out. 2-0 home. Rosario did go around, and it won't matter. It's a called strike anyway. Augie Gallardo continues to warm for the Otters in the right field pen. Brian Rosario trying to get something going in the 7th. 2-1, and he has a hefty cut through it for a swinging strike 2.
Swung right over that one was Rosario. Again, a great pitch there by Craigie. Here with the 2-2 count, 1 out. Best belief he'll give his best pitch right here.
2-2 to Rosario. Puts one on the ground to the left side. Chavez zooms in and tries to zoom that to the throwing hand and throw, and instead he just tosses it to his teammate Flete at third. It was an unintentional throw over to Flete. Tried to get the exchange a little too quickly.
They will rule that a base hit for Rosario. So his first hit of the afternoon. So a 1-for-3 day for him with a walk to his name. Bring up the first baseman, Zach Biermann now. Good day for him at the plate. 2 for 3.
Runner at first is Rosario with 1 out. And hitting straight into the shift is Biermann to second for 1. The relay to first in time. And it's a 4-6-3 double play that take us to the 8th inning. Evansville still on top of this one, 4-2. 8th inning comes at you next. And as we head to the 8th inning, a pitching change needed. Before we get there, though, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network is presented by Bud Light. To the mound we go and introduce you to our new pitcher. Augie Gallardo gets the nod out of the Otters right field bullpen. Gallardo on the mound, Felix behind the plate. Pitcher catcher battery sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Call it 812-475-9000. All the bullpen presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Gallardo, 6-0 righty, making his 28th appearance on the year. His last appearance was the middle game against Joliet, where he pitched 2 scoreless innings, giving up no runs, no hits, walked 1, struck out 2. His appearance before that was against Washington, where he gave up just 1 hit in 2 innings, struck out 4 in that time as well. Gallardo's been fun to watch this season.
Adcock's final stat line of the night: 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs. Both runs were earned. 9 strikeouts on the afternoon. So a total of 19 strikeouts between both starting pitchers is a outstanding amount.
Ball sent out towards right field. McNamee will run back towards it, and he'll bring it in a few steps short of the warning track for out number 1.
First baseman.
Very quick out for Alberti Chavez. And that'll bring up the hard-hitting first baseman Brennan Price for what very possibly could be the last time tonight.
Very well could be, unless something changes here in the 8th inning. Price had a very, I wouldn't say quiet night, but yet not a loud night either at the plate. A solid 1 for 2, had the home run back in the first, ground out back in the third, and a walk back in the 6th. So not a quiet night, but again, not yet a very loud night for him.
1 ball, no strikes for Brennan Price. After Gallardo fires outside for ball 1. There is 1 out, nobody on base. Hard hit ball towards Armstrong at second. Played into the glove. Over to first in plenty of time for out number 2. Hasn't been a super busy day for the infielders for Evansville, but they've done good when they have needed to be there.
Again, like I said, this game has been a lot of strikeouts, hard contact, out in the outfield making great plays. But very little contact here in the infield.
The Schaumburg Boomers have scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th to take a 7-5 lead against Gateway going into the 7th inning. Otters really needed the Grizzlies to stay on top of that one. But a good thing is the Otters are still winning their game and still controlling their own destiny. Certainly would have felt good for Evansville to grab a game in hand. 1-0 count to Bryant Flatte, who grounds one off to the right side. Armstrong digs in. The throw to first is in time, and there is a very quick top of the 8th for Augie Gallardo. We're on to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Evansville leads this one 4 runs to 2 on the Otters Digital Network. To the bottom half of the eighth we go. And a new pitcher needed for Florence in this one. Darian Williams, the righty, will come in out of the bullpen. Stands 6'2", formerly of the Cleburne Railroaders in the American Association. Struggling in his couple outings so far this year. 0-1 in his 2 appearances. ERA sitting at 22.5 due to the amount of runs and the small amount of innings. Can certainly bounce back here in this outing. Call to the bullpen presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Williams on the mound, Harper behind the plate. The pitcher catcher battery sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. J.R. Davis, Dakota Phillips, and Elijah McNamee due up in the half inning. Davis trying to avoid the dreaded golden sombrero here in this at-bat.
Carl Craigie with stat line, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, no runs, and a strikeout.
As expected, Logan Sawyer gets up and starts to warm for the Otters out in the right field pen. Likely going to be the 9th inning man for him to help close this one out. One ball, no strikes for J.R. Davis. Takes a called strike just under the elbows, and the count evens up, but a ball and a strike.
Getting a tough night here for Davis at the plate. Again, 3 strikeouts. Made a couple good plays on the defensive side, though, so again, not a total loss of a night, as they say, for Davis. But again, looking for his first hit of the evening.
2-1 to Davis. That one stays inside yet again for ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike for J.R. Davis. Close pitch will send J.R. Davis to first with a walk, and he will avoid the dreaded sombrero.
That's a Deerhead Sidewalk Cafe and Bar.
So that brings up Dakota Phillips, who has 2 RBIs on the day, one on a sac fly RBI, the other on a solo home run.
Again, Phillips looked at home run deep right field over second set of signs. I'm still convinced that ball has not landed anywhere near the city of Evansville.
First pitch to him, gets away from the catcher for a second. Davis stuck between first and second, never made up his mind, so he's going to be stuck at first. Dakota Phillips looking at a 1-0 count now. Hefty swinging strike evens his count at 1-1. Estimated distance on that home run from Phillips was 352. Came off the bat at 99.
Again, don't have to hit it a country mile for it to go long, but if you get a good hold of it, make good contact, you're getting good over 350.
1-1 pitch and the throw down to first. Brennan Price wasn't ready for it. All the way down into the Otters bullpen. Davis might be able to go home. They're going to hold him at third for now. Now he's going to race home on the throwing error, and actually he's going to go back to third since nobody's covering. A monumental mistake for Harper, who threw it out to first, and Price was not there or ready for it.
This will be an error on the catcher and potentially an error on that throw.
Luckily, the throw won't have any error because J.R. Davis didn't score. Had he snuck home than they would have.
So that'd be an E2 on the throw then. Advance him to third. Big
Gotta be-
opportunity.
Got to be careful in a situation like that. I mean, that's one that's just not worth it if you're Harper. You're only down 2. This could be a monumental insurance run if he gets home now.
And now to play as a guy that scored 2 of the 4 runs.
Well, now Phillips doesn't need a base hit or a home run to score a run. All he needs is a sacrifice fly. Could prove to be a monumental error. Davis with a good lead over at third. And the pitch to Phillips stays high and outside, evens our count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Infielders all playing well in, trying to keep Davis from scoring. An outside pitch will take our count to full now for Dakota Phillips. They still have a bit of a shift going on against Phillips, even with the infield in. 3-2 high and outside, and there are runners at the corners now after the walk for Phillips. I tell you what, this is the perfect game for Dakota Phillips to settle back in to professional baseball. He made his first appearance after almost 2 months on that game against Florence in the 10th inning, winning runner at second, 2 outs. That's a lot of pressure for a guy to jump back in. Last night, picked up the RBI base hit. Now he really seems to be feeling back to his normal self. Sac fly RBI, a home run, a walk. Now, I like what we're seeing now from Dakota
Again, a
Phillips.
solid game all around. Not playing the field, but still just that leadership in the dugout over there. A big presence for this Otters team. And really glad to have him back. So it's back-to-back walks now by Willis.
We'll have a meeting of the minds there in the infield. All of the infielders come in as well.
Well, now you think about, I'm a man of a lot of craziness and opportunities in baseball. Do you have your first baseman runner delay steal, get picked off intentionally or something, then have your runner from third score, get that run? I mean, don't want to take the bat out of the hand of McEnany here, but I mean, if you can score a run and somehow get that runner to second,
I think you feel confident enough with where you're at now. Let him swing the bat. Hope that he puts something out into the outfield that could potentially score a run on a sac fly. McNamee has to dive out of or duck out of the way to keep that ball from hitting him in the helmet. Hefty swinging strike from McNamee evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases just about packed. Runner at first, runner at third, and McNamee looking at an even 1-1 count. And a hefty swinging strike has dropped McNamee back to a 1-2 opportunity now. Big time try for McNamee. Ooh, pitch stays just a bit too high for ball 2, and our count evens up. If the Otters can get a win tonight, they would advance to 15-15 since the All-Star break. And that's thanks to winning 7 of their last 8. Ball sent out towards center by McNamee. Won't be caught by the center fielder Weaver, and a run will score on the RBI single from McNamee.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Ray and Hannah here at the ballpark tonight. They are celebrating the 30th anniversary of their first date right here in Boston Field. So on the count of 3, let's say Ray and Hannah, happy anniversary.
the thing about that hit was that, again, a blooper at center field, but yet center fielder Weaver
The catcher
did what he did earlier.
Happy anniversary to Greg and Hannah.
Yeah, that was one where that one certainly it didn't look like he had a play on it. Was going to try to wait on it and throw a ball in, but then it seemed like he changed his mind in the middle of that play. Yeah.
He just took that stutter step, and again, that's another run for this Otters lead.
Hefty swinging strike one for Felix, drops him back in the count. Otters lead has hit 3 now. A little bit of insurance. So, of course, we wonder now if they get a 4th run or a 4th leading run, then will they bring back in Augie Gallardo, or they go ahead and still bring in Logan Sawyer? Guess we will wait and see. Called strike, drops Felix back to an 0-2 count.
Felix is due for a hit here as well. 0 for 3 on the day. Couple strikeouts and a pop out. He's due for something big.
Ball almost gets away from the catcher Harper, but stays in front of it to make the count 1-2. Sawyer and his bullpen catcher John Anthon watching on from right field. They've had a couple of warm-up throws, but for right now they're saying why keep warming up with nobody out. Might as well save things. 1-2 for Felix, and a hefty swinging strike 3 will be the first strikeout of the day for Darian Williams.
That's Felix's 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. So a hat trick for him.
Brings up the 8-hole hitter, Andy Armstrong. He's 2 for 3, 2 solid singles.
Andy Armstrong.
He's got runners at second and third. First and second. Third is unoccupied, and because of it, Flate is playing well in. First pitch high and outside for ball 1. George Khalil stands on deck as Williams waits on the 1-0. Bounces it in, it gets past the catcher Harper, and both runners are in scoring position now. Dakota Phillips advances to third, McNamee advances to second. And we'll see if that proves to be a costly wild pitch.
Again, 8 and 9 hitters. Armstrong and Khalil, both, again, a lot of good production for him. Bottom of the lineup looking to extend this lead as the Otters. So 2-0 gets fouled back to the screen.
Otters hanging on to a 5-2 lead right now, looking for potentially a little more insurance prior to the 9th inning. It'll either be Augie Gallardo or Logan Sawyer in the 9th inning. Just kind of depends on what the situation looks like, I guess. Armstrong puts a ball off foul to the right side, and with it his count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Construction, choose the best, never regret.
McNamee standing out there at second, Phillips at third. Just 1 out in the half inning. This pitch stays low. Armstrong will run down to first to make it so. And it is back-to-back strikeouts for Darian Williams now. If he can get out of this with only allowing 1 run, boy, would that be a win in his book.
Definitely so. Would give the Y'alls a little bit more of a confidence boost heading to that 9th inning. But the only bad thing is you're going against one of the best closers in the league. So it's going to make it hard in that 9th inning to make a good comeback.
George Khalil at the plate now. 2 outs, runners at second and third. He puts one towards the shortstop and into the glove of Chavez. So the Otters get 1 run of insurance, and we head to the 9th. Evansville going to try to win this one there. We'll see you in the 9th. Top of the ninth inning, and you know what Master of Puppets means. Logan Sawyer enters the game out of the right field pen. The Frontier League's top closer will look to make it his league-leading 22nd save on the season. Here in this one, the Knoxville, Tennessee native stands 6'4" up there on the bump. It's called the Bullpen, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Sawyer on the mound, Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catch a battery, sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. If you can get through this game unscathed, it's 30 appearances on the year, 0.00 ERA. He has been exceptional this season and has been a large reason the Otters are where they are in the standings and in the win column.
Take a quick look at Augie Galato's stat line. 180 pitch, no hits, no runs, and 1 strikeout on the night for Augie. So, again, a great 8th inning for him. And, again, the setup here for Sawyer to come in and shut the door here.
Sawyer gets set for his first pitch of the at-bat. On the way to Ray Zuber. Stays just a bit too high on the inside for ball 1. On the day, Ray Zuber, 1 for 3, had the RBI single back in the 6th that represents the second run for Florence. The 1-0 delivery from Logan Sawyer. Finds the zone for a called strike. Almost right across the heart of the plate, but high. Got him right underneath the elbows. Good pitch there. As expected, Logan's a guy who's going to use his fastball to just, well, zoom it by some of these guys. A fastball that sits in the mid to sometimes high 90s. It is hard for some of these batters to pick up on where it's coming across the plate. Another final out of the Frontier League tonight. The New York Boulders get a 6-4 win against Tri-City. Two-1 the count to Ray Zuber. Logan Sawyer kicks and delivers home. A swinging strike. Zoom past Ray Zuber. And his count's even at 2-2.
Hefty 90, about 93, 94 there. Good pitch there on 2-1 now. Could see it again on 2-2 or just throw it away here.
A lot of times it doesn't surprise you to see him go right back to it. Kind of challenging these hitters. You couldn't hit it that time. Let's see if you can hit it this time. 2-2 home. It misses the zone on the low outside. And with it, the count goes full for Ray Zuberer, one of the league's top double hitters. Zuber has 26 doubles, has him in the top 5 in this league. A 3-2 payoff pitch to Ray Zuberer. Outside ball 4, just the 3rd walk of the season, given up by Sawyer. So now he'll have to work with a base runner on. Second time on base today for Zuber.
Brings up now the second baseman, Ethan Stern. 0 for 3 in the evening. Look for his first hit. But if you're Sawyer here on the mound looking for a ground ball double play, get out of this hit. Get 2 quick outs. Get a quick save here.
First pitch to Stern. Good for a called strike on the inside edge. Stern entered the game with back-to-back games with home runs. So far today is 0 for 3. Did have a hard drive to right field, but it was caught by McNamee. That's bookended by a couple strikeouts. Now the 0-1 to Ethan Stern. This one is sent high and very shallow to the right side. Armstrong brings it in for the first out of the inning. Kind of looked like, or kind of sounded like the bat might have taken a crack there too. If so, some more wood for the fire. Go get your new lumber at Niehaus Lumber. So that'll bring up Axel Johnson, the designated hitter. He's 0 for 3 with a flyout and 2 strikeouts In fact, his flyouts in the 5th inning to left field feels like one of the only balls we've seen hit to the left side all night. Ready for the first pitch to Johnson. Sire delivers home. Misses on the outside edge.
Try and get Johnson here to roll over early, get a ground ball, and try to get out of this game. I like the outside pitch there, but you got a 3-run lead here. Might give him something enticing to hit. Try to keep it shallow in the infield.
A 1-0 is fouled away towards the parking lot to the left side. With it, our count evens up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Quick break in the action means we'll go check on things in Schaumburg. Gateway still trailing 7-5 to the Schaumburg Boomers. That big 6th inning might prove to be enough for the Boomers tonight. A 1-1 to Axel Johnson. Hit hard towards the right side, picked up by Armstrong to second for 1. The relay to first, is it in time? It is! The Otters win. Sawyer gets save number 22. And it's 4 straight wins now for Evansville. This one a 5-2 win that had just about everything. Wonderful starting pitching, some power, some small ball. This is the type of win you like to hang the hat on and be proud of. We take things all the way back to the first when Brennan Price introduced this game in a staggering way. It looked like right away the Y'alls were going to state their authority and start to be the one who dictated pace. A solo home run in the first is how things kicked off here from Evansville. From there, things got a little bit even for a while. Then into the bottom of the third, that's when Evansville finally struck, and broke what was already a great day for Bobby Brabrand. 3 straight singles put the bases loaded for Evansville, and then an RBI walk, an RBI single, brought in the first 2 runs for Evansville, gave them a lead, but they would never falter the rest of the game. 1 more run would score on a Dakota Phillips sacrifice fly RBI. From there, things once again went even as we got to the 6th inning. In the top of the 6th, Florence got themselves to within 1 with an RBI single for Bray Zuber. Right back at you, said the Evansville Otters, and Dakota Phillips launched the ball over the right field wall, and that's doubled the Otters' lead to 4-2 at that point. In the 8th, Evansville struck for a little bit of insurance just to make things feel a little bit better. An error by the catcher, Harper, ended up being pretty big as Davis was able to score on that one from third, and because of it, the RBI single from McNamee proved to be that 5-2 buffer that the Otters needed to get things done. Logan Sawyer enters the game in the 9th and closes things out. Gets his Frontier League leading 22nd save. He's a perfect 22 for 22 in those opportunities. Evansville wins their 4th straight. They keep themselves in West Division title contention. They keep themselves in the 2 spot in the playoffs. This is exactly what you needed, the perfect game to start this series off. You played pretty much each part of the game correctly, and that's why you're on the right side of the scoreboard.
And I said from the start of the game, to win this game, it all relies on your starting pitchers having great mentality. And again, both pitchers, Adcock and Brabrand, both had great mentalities despite some shaking innings, but just the Otters put 2 and 2 together, had a lot of hits here and there. When things mattered most to the Otters, they got the simple things done. For the Y'alls, they just, again, just some things didn't go their way. And again, that's a game of baseball.
This is a tough luck loss for Bobby Brabrand. 4 runs allowed on 7 hits in 6 innings of work. Struck out 10, 4 of those looking, and I think all 4 were with that curveball that was phenomenal tonight from him. But unfortunately, that 3rd inning proved just to be a little too much for him, and he ends up taking the loss. The win is going to go to Brett Adcock, who was very good in this one. Went 7 full innings, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 9 for himself, only walked 2, even threw 110 pitches. So it was a good inning, or good outing for him as well. Augie Gallardo and Logan Sawyer each pitch a scoreless inning as well, and Evansville is able to hang their hat on what is a good feeling win. It's their 4th straight. They keep themselves in a good spot in the standings. Not a lot to be upset about tonight.
Cannot complain indeed. Again, great first win in a 3-game series versus the Y'alls. Again, game 1 of 6 versus each other, should be an interesting 6-game series against these 2 teams.
Well, we'll take one last look through the Frontier League scoreboard just so you're up to date with everything. Ottawa did get a 6-3 win against Empire State. New York, 6-4 winners against Tri-City. Lake Erie defeats Washington at home 2-1. That's what's keeping Evansville in the race for the West Division crown. New Jersey with an impressive 12-5 win on the road at Trois-Rivières. Then we've got a couple games still going on. Quebec and Sussex County tied at 8 runs apiece in the bottom of the ninth. Capitals with a chance to walk it off there. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Gateway Grizzlies still fighting from behind, 7-5 in favor of Schaumburg there in the bottom of the 8th. And at Windy City, top of the 7th, Joliet hanging on to a 5-4 lead currently. This game, a 5-2 win for the Evansville Otters. They extend their win streak out to 4. They keep themselves in second place in the West Division. As of right now, they're hosting that one-game playoff. But keep your eye on the standings. Still a chance for the Otters to grab the West Division. Sure, it would take some help, but as long as you keep winning, you do your job correctly. I want to say a huge thanks to Devin for coming on tonight and filling in for Bill McEwen. He will be back tomorrow night. Devin, thanks for coming on and making your Otters debut.
It's been a pleasure, and again, good win for the Otters. And thank you, everybody, listening.
I want to thank everyone for spending some time with the Evansville Otters. A lot you can do with your Saturday night. We're proud you've done it with the two-time Frontier League champion Evansville Otters. For all of us here in Evansville, he's Devin Kenny. I'm Matthew Will, saying so long from historic Bosse Field. We'll talk to you tomorrow night as Evansville and Florence continue their 3-game set.